Hey, how's it going, guys? I just saw The Flash, and I saw it in Regal's ScreenX. And if you guys don't know what that is, I'm gonna put up a little video of it right here. I think they have the trailer of The Flash out in ScreenX. So I'm gonna put that up. So this review is going to be on ScreenX as an experience as well as the Flash movie. But the first thing I want to talk about is not The Flash, not ScreenX. I want to talk about Batman. Because that's where my focus was when this movie started. Ben Affleck as Batman, I've said this multiple times, that's perfect casting. It just sucks that we've had bad writing and direction up until this point. Right here, this opening sequence with Ben Affleck as Batman was awesome. He played Bruce Wayne and Batman perfectly. It was awesome. When I saw him as Batman, I didn't think, dang, that's I'm watching a movie. I'm seeing Ben Affleck play Batman. I just saw Batman. And that's what you want in an immersive experience like this, in a superhero movie, right? You want to just see the character, not the actor. And dude, my brother doesn't like the suit. I thought the suit was cool. I guess I didn't like the reflective bat logo. But the color, I guess I like the coloring. The coloring was really good. I just wish we had longer years, and we did get that with Michael Keaton in this movie also. But I'm talking about Ben Affleck right now. The voice was different. The way he carried himself was different. The way he was acting was different. Ben Affleck said a while ago, I feel like a couple of years ago. I don't know, whenever this movie started filming, and we first started getting articles about it. He said this was the movie where he finally understood how to play the character. And that is so evident. If you look at his performance as Batman in Justice League and Batman v Superman, and then look at it in this, completely different. And now we're getting rumors that the director of this movie is going to be directing a Batman, the Brave and the Bold, the Batman movie. Dude, yeah. They got Batman right. And it sucks we're not getting Ben Affleck in the DCEU because he's such a good Batman. He looks like Batman. He looks like Bruce Wayne. Not only did he get Batman right, he got Bruce Wayne right. At one point I was like, dang it, man. They're going back to the jokes. But with Batman making jokes, because I talked about it in another video where I don't want to see a director's interpretation of a character. I want to see that character. And I don't want to see Batman making jokes, right? You can put Batman in a lighthearted movie if you want it to be lighthearted, but Batman is still Batman, right? And so when he started to make jokes, I was like, dang it, we're going back into this. But no, it was Wonder Woman is in this too. I didn't know that. Wonder Woman's lasso is on him, and that scene was hilarious. The jokes in this movie were actually funny. There were some lines in this that actually got me to laugh out loud. But dude, Ben Affleck's Batman was awesome. And Michael Keaton's Batman was awesome also. I was just talking to my brother before this, and he mentioned the way they choreographed Michael Keaton's Batman fight scenes was so good. It wasn't brutal. It wasn't over-exaggerated anyway. It felt natural. It felt like, hey, that's Batman fighting. And that's perfect. That's what we want. And again, same thing with Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, right? When we see the character, we want to feel like, hey, that's Batman. That's something Batman would do. That's how Batman would act. That's how Batman fights. That's how Batman talks. I don't want to see it like I'm watching a movie. I just want to see the character, right? If the actor gets lost in the character, that's perfect. That's what we want. So Batman nailed it out of the park. So if this director, Andy Muschietti, I believe his name is, if he is directing Brave and the Bold, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be a good movie. So now let's move on to The Flash. So if you guys remember my trailer reaction to the movie, I was like, hey, what is going on here? Why do we have a Flash that has yellow lightning? Why do we have a Flash that has a blue lightning? Okay, maybe because when you travel back in time, there's two different Flashes, so you got two different lightnings. But then we had the older... There's spoilers in this video, by the way. We have the older Barry who has a certain color, a yellow light, a certain like let's say that's a yellow lightning. We have older Barry has yellow lightning, and then we have the younger Barry has the blue lightning. But then we switched it up. Sometimes we had the older Barry with the blue lightning and the younger Barry with the yellow lightning. So what's going on? So I just talked to my brother before this, and he mentioned that it's only yellow lightning when he has the new suit on. The new suit is somehow making his lightning yellow, which makes no sense. Essentially, what the lightning was there was nothing. They were not trying to hide anything in the trailer. Like whatever the different versions of the Flash or whatever. It was just to be able to distinguish the two Flashes. And come on, I thought there was gonna be a little bit deeper than that. All right, where was I? I was making some fish. We were talking about Batman. We moved on to The Flash. The Flash, Ezra Miller did a great job in this movie. He played a younger version of himself, and he played an older version of himself. And the older version of himself was from the DCEU timeline, the Flash that we know. And the younger version of himself is when he goes back in time to bring back his mom. He gets knocked out of the Speed Force a bit too early, right? And that's how he gets stuck with his younger self. And that he plays both really well. Not one time during the movie that I question, like, oh, dang, I'm watching Ezra Miller act with Ezra Miller. There were two different characters. And they were two very different characters, but yet they were the same character, right? You could see that they were the same character, yet they acted very differently. He's a great actor. If you guys have seen My Name is Kevin, or no, We Need to Talk About Kevin, that's another great movie from Ezra Miller. He's a great actor. Might be crazy. I don't know him personally, but from what I'm hearing, I'll leave that aside. He's a good actor. This movie showcases that. There were some really funny scenes between the two. There were some really emotional scenes between the two, and especially that scene in the Batcave when the older Barry gets pretty emotional. He can't tell the younger Barry why he traveled back in time, and he gets angry, and he gets up in the younger Barry's face. And this younger Barry is, he has his mom, he has a good life, he has friends, he hasn't really gone through much hardship where this older Barry has. And it seems like from the older Barry's perspective, it seems like this younger Barry is taking things for granted, and like there was a scene with the stuffed animal, the monkey, and I don't know, man. There were just some really emotional scenes, and it was good. The acting was very well done from Ezra Miller's side. He still did that weird run, and he acted not as bad as in Justice League and how the quirky weird out there. I mean, he still had that, and even more so in the younger Barry. But because of the serious nature of the film, and because of they're dealing with the death of their mom and their dad in jail, he wasn't just this weird spazzy kind of weirdo, Like I said, that was definitely in there, but it was not nearly as much as it was in the other movies. So that was nice to see as well. What I didn't expect was the older Barry to lose his powers. Essentially, they recreate the accident that caused Barry to get his powers, and the older Barry was in the way. So the lightning literally went through him and hit the younger Barry. So it literally like transferred the powers into the younger Barry. So for the majority of the movie, the older Barry doesn't have his powers, and that added to that frustration that the older Barry had. Right, the older Barry already is like envious and jealous of this young guy, and this young guy seems to be ungrateful for what he has because he doesn't know the other side. He doesn't know where the older Barry is coming from because the older Barry can't tell him. Later on, he finds out, and that scene was awesome. You can see just the emotion in the face, the subtlety, right? You don't need that caliber of. I'm not saying this is like. I'm not saying this is like Joaquin Phoenix Joker level acting, but it's better acting than the vast majority of these superhero movies. It's good acting for any movie. It's good. I'm not trying to belittle it or anything, saying it's a superhero movie, whatever, lower the bar or anything like that. No, he did a good job in this movie. I'm rambling. So yeah, I was 100% sold by the acting of Ezra Miller with the two flashes. In my head they're two different characters, right? But in reality, it's the same guy playing them. It's good job, Ezra Miller. Other than that, the action was awesome. I wasn't 100% with the intro action scene. With the Batman stuff I was, but Ezra Miller, the Flash, saving the babies, the yellow tint to everything, I wasn't 100% on board with that. And I personally liked, with the slow-mo, I personally liked Quicksilver in Days of Future Past with his slow-mo and whatnot. Was it Days of Future Past? Or it wasn't First Class, was it? I don't know. One of those X-Men movies. I think it was Days of Future Past. Yeah, it was Days of Future Past. I preferred that slow-mo than this. Not that this was bad, but I haven't been a fan of every time he runs, lightning just flies everywhere. At least it wasn't as bad as it was in Justice League, where lightning flies everywhere and you see papers and things flying, things getting lit up with the lightning, right? With this, he can run past you and you don't know. In Justice League, if he runs past you, you're going to get electrocuted and things are going to be flying all over the place with lightning bolts coming off of him. You know what I mean? So at least it didn't really make sense with the whole lightning everywhere. Nothing's really happening, but at least, I don't know, man. I don't feel the lightning everywhere. But other than that, the action was awesome. They really made good use of the phasing through stuff. They made use of that quite a bit in this movie. There's a scene where the younger Barry gets the Flash powers, right, and he phases through the floor, and he's completely naked because all his clothes are gone because he's running around. They burnt off, and the neighbor below them was screaming. They even made fun of the run. The scene where Barry understands that he lost his power, realizes that he lost his powers, and he tries to do the run, and he looks all awkward running around the room, doing that little running like Frozone. There were some funny moments in this movie, and it wasn't cringe humor. It was actually funny humor. And speaking of the powers and all that stuff, the action was awesome. We talked about Batman's fight scenes and how it felt like Batman. It felt natural. That's how Batman would fight. Him taking on that giant Kryptonian, that looked really cool. And also, not only that, Supergirl's fight scenes were awesome. There was a fight scene near the end where it kept jumping back and forth between both the Flashes and Supergirl taking on Zod. That was awesome. They had this music going on in the background, and it was cool. I'm personally not one for using actual music, like actual songs with lyrics in movies. I more prefer an orchestral score, but this worked for me. It was because the scene was fun, and that added to the funness. Plus, I was watching it on ScreenX, and it felt like I was in an amusement park ride. Watching it on, I'll get into that a little bit later. So the action scenes were awesome. They pulled off really cool moves. Barry shooting lightning like Tien in Dragon Ball Z, throwing tornadoes out there, man, like my druid in Diablo 4. Dude, the action was awesome. And Supergirl versus Zod, that fight scene was awesome. When she found out what Zod did to Clark, her reaction, her rage, and that punch, that follow through was really good. I love that. The only thing is, to sell it even more, I wish we got like a flashback of Kara with Kal-El as a baby. You know what I mean? Just to sell the idea that, dang, they know each other, they have a relationship prior to this moment, and that's why she's really angry. I mean, we know it, but seeing it is another thing. You know what I mean? So get the action, the cinematography, I thoroughly enjoyed. I almost forgot to mention Barry getting his powers back. That scene, dude, I'm telling you, there were some emotional scenes in this movie. They tried to recreate the accident that got him his powers, right, in the Batcave, right? So they had the whole chair set up and everything with the lightning and the kite, the bat kite in the sky, like Benjamin Franklin, and Barry gets electrocuted. Like, do you see the lightning come down? He's just like getting electrocuted and everything, and he's like half dead, dude. and you see like, when you get struck by lightning, if you ever Google a picture of somebody who's struck by lightning, you see like literally like lightning on their body. It literally looks like that. That's what he looked like. And he looked like he was half dead. And he didn't get his powers. It didn't work, right? And then he was like, do it again. Batman was already, not sure he wanted to do this in the first place. He thought it was insane. And the younger Barry, at that point, he understood the gravity of the situation because he knew at that point, because he overheard that older Barry came back in time to save his mom. So he knows how much pressure is on this older Barry. And he's more empathetic at this point. And so he's like, no, what he doesn't want to see this older Barry die. And that was insane, dude. Like, just seeing him in that state, just slunched over, like, hanging off the chair, his body literally charred up, and is asking for it again, not knowing that it's going to work. He's that desperate. He's willing to give up his life in that way in order to save the universe. And that was insane. That was insane to see. And then Kara comes out of nowhere and scoops him up and flies him into the sky, and he gets electrocuted. He gets struck by the lightning. But the thing is, as we explained in this movie, getting hit by the lightning isn't the reason why he got the powers. It was the lightning struck the chemicals, and this chemical splattered all over him. I don't remember any chemicals splattering over him in this scene. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Because I don't know, in that first electrocution, that first lightning strike, if the chemical sprayed on him and it just didn't work, it just wasn't enough lightning or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the chemicals splattering on him. So I don't know. You guys let me know. And now for the main twist. There was a point in the movie where Kara and Batman, Supergirl and Batman, died. And so young Barry, he now knows that older Barry went back in time to save his mom. So he's like, hey, I can do this too. So he travels back in time and tries to save Supergirl and Batman. So they come back, right? And they sort of thought that they saved Batman, but he ends up dying. Supergirl ends up dying still. And so the young Flash decided to do it again and again and again and again. And you can see how he's getting fixated. He's getting obsessed with this, right? And Barry, the older Barry, is trying to stop him. He's like, come on, we can't do this. Don't you understand? This is what Bruce was warning us about. We can't do this, He was just fixated, man. He just kept wanting to do it over and over and over and over again. And that dark Flash that we saw at the beginning, that was this younger Barry. So I thought that was really cool. That reveal was cool. My brother didn't really like the reveal. He thought they could have done it better. It was, instead of waiting till you see the dark Flash and then you're like, whoa, okay, that's younger Barry. He thought that could have been done better. But I thought it was pretty cool because I didn't know anything about Dark Flash. I didn't even know that running through the Speed Force, it alters you and stuff like that. Like, he was getting more and more obsessed, more fixated, more agitated. It was changing his behavior every time he was doing it. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know the Dark Flash was a thing. So seeing that was cool. That caught me. I was like, whoa, okay, that's cool. So essentially, that whole universe was doomed to die. So that younger Barry died. And that was sad because you grew with that relationship. Older Barry thought he was a bit annoying, but then they came together near the end and they formed a relationship by the end and they understood each other. So seeing him go was sad. But what was even more sad was older Barry knowing what he had to do. He had to fix the timeline. He had to put that can of tomato soup back, and saying goodbye to his mom like that was sad. That was really sad. That reminded me of Naruto, man. Naruto seeing his mom. That's literally what it reminded me. That's what I was thinking when I saw it in the theater. So that whole sequence was awesome. And whoa, wait. We missed the whole multiverse aspect, right? While they were in the Speed Force, the whole multiverse, all the worlds were colliding, and we got to see Christopher Reeve's Superman. We got to see the old school Batman. We got to see literally they went to the extreme with this multiverse stuff. Literally from all the different movies and shows and everything. And to stuff that didn't even see the light of day. Tim Burton's Batman with Nicolas Cage. When I saw that long hair, I was like, they can't be doing this. I can't believe it. No, it can't be. What is this? Is this some version of Superman that I don't know? I don't know. It can't be Nick Cage, dude. It can't be Nick Cage because we've all seen behind the scenes photos and the footage of Nick Cage in that Superman outfit, right? That dude, my jaw dropped when I saw Nick Cage, dude. That was awesome, man. I love that. That was freaking amazing. That was really cool. So yeah, man. I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed the movie. Was it the best superhero movie of all time? No way. But it was not bad. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 if we're going whole numbers. I won't jump to a 9, but it's definitely an 8 point something. I liked it. Oh, but wait, when Barry gets back to his timeline, he thinks he's fixed everything, right? Everything's back to normal. We got George Clooney Batman. Like the stuff that they're doing, obviously they're not moving forward, right? Because George Clooney is not the mainline Batman. We're gonna get a new Batman, so they can do whatever they want because they're not continuing with this timeline. We're starting off the DCEU. So people were worrying like, hey, are we continuing with Ezra Miller Flash? Maybe, but if we do continue with Ezra Miller Flash, it's not in this universe. So most likely we're not going to be Ezra Miller Flash in the DCU. If we do a sequel of this Flash movie, yeah, of course, we're going to have Ezra Miller Flash. But it'll be an Elseworld story, I think. It's not going to be part of the DCU. Because right now, George Clooney is the Batman. And the after credit scene with Jason Momoa, they were Barry was talking about how there's so many different Batman. We got Ben Affleck, we got Michael Keaton, we got George Clooney, but Arthur Curry stayed the same throughout everything, right? That's what he was saying. So you could, if you want to take it seriously, you could say, okay, so that means throughout all the different multiverses, all the different universes, Arthur Curry stayed the same. So Jason Momoa is going to continue to play Aquaman in the DCU. You could take it like that. I personally don't think. Well, maybe you could take it like that. Maybe that's what they were trying to say. But I honestly think it's probably just a joke. And we're going to get a new Aquaman in the DCU. But let me know, what do you guys think about that? Do you think Jason Momoa is going to be the Aquaman in the DCU based off of this after credit scene? And what did you guys think about the movie as a whole? Did you guys like it? I've been seeing some mixed reviews. I've been seeing people saying that it's a complete mess. Doesn't make any sense. Like, I thought Supergirl getting stabbed, how did she die? Why is she dying from a stab wound? But my brother was explaining it to me that it's because they extracted the codex from her blood, and that's what was killing her. So, and the lightning thing, it was just because they wanted to differentiate the two. I wouldn't call that a mess. I haven't seen any of these other reviews, so I don't know why they're calling it a mess. I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed this movie more than a lot of these MCU movies that's been coming out, more than a lot of these DCEU movies that's been coming out. So I thought the movie was pretty good. Like I said, 8 out of 10. Wait a second. Before I go, I got to talk about ScreenX. I sort of alluded to it already, but ScreenX, that experience was awesome. I'm going to put up a little video here for it. The regular aspect ratio is not being affected, right? It might look like, whoa, we're just getting it ultra wide and it's coming off and the movie is being cut off and it's coming on the sides. No, it's nothing like that. The main screen that you're seeing is the movie as it would be seen in a regular theater, right? The normal aspect ratio. The stuff on the side is additional footage or effects, right? So when you're not really looking, you don't need to look to the signs. Yeah, there you can see it looks like the screen is extended. Like there's things happening on the side, but not important things. All the important stuff is happening on the screen because that's the movie. All the stuff on the sides are additional footage, and it wraps around you. But I guess depending on where you sit in the theater, I sat right behind the handicap rows. That's usually where I sit, and so it creates this like peripheral, right? And it literally feels. I felt like I was in a ride during the action scenes. Is where they showed a lot of the movie. They didn't even have any additional footage on the side. You just focused on the screen. But when the scenes opened up and the action started happening, they opened up both those screens and you see what's going on. And it felt like I was in one of those like rides in Universal. And it was awesome, man. I definitely would want to experience this again. It added to the immersion. I was worried that it would be distracting, it would take away from the immersion, but in my opinion, it added to the immersion, and I thought it was awesome. The only thing is I wish the audio was better. It was like regular movie audio. If it had the IMAX level audio with that added vision, dude, if they had like an IMAX screen plus that peripheral plus that high quality audio, that would be amazing. But yeah, I thought it was cool. The experience of ScreenX was awesome, and if you guys have the opportunity to see this movie in ScreenX, I would take it. It's cool. It's a fun experience. It makes you feel like you're on a ride, especially with a movie like this. So I thought the movie was awesome. 8 out of 10. I thought the experience with ScreenX was awesome. That was really fun. And so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What did you guys think about the movie, if you've seen it? And let me know your thoughts and opinions if they differ from mine, or if you agree with me. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.